Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Great to see 50 plus dealers on the call. I'm Dan Bielik. I'm the dealer sales manager for the CVC program with Ford, covering the central and the west parts of the country. So I wanted to open up the call today just to let everyone know kind of where we are, where Ford is with Work Truck Solutions. So Ford and Work Truck Solutions have been partners for a very long time, well over a decade probably, right, Kath, I'm assuming?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we both serve the same customers, right? We both serve you as our dealers and also ultimately our commercial customers. So as you might know, Work Truck Solutions was founded by Catherine Schifferle, who's on the call today, more than a dozen years ago. And it was built on a foundation of providing a platform that enables dealerships to serve the businesses who need work vehicles for their livelihood. They leverage technology to provide solutions that assist dealerships in merchandising the vehicles that drive business, ultimately making the process of finding, purchasing, and servicing these vehicles as efficient for our customers as possible. And recently, we're very happy to partner with Work Truck Solutions to power LocateFordTrucks.com, which is also featured on FordPro.com. And that provides us yet another way for our customers to find upfitted commercial vehicles from Ford dealerships around the country. So that's kind of what we've done with Work Truck Solutions going back quite a ways and very recently. As far as today goes, in today's webinar, Work Truck Solutions will discuss how you can use content to grow your dealership's commercial business by providing your customers a comprehensive solution that is fully committed to their needs. And with that, I'll turn over back to the team at Work Truck Solutions.
Thanks so much, Dan, and I really appreciate the kind words. We definitely have been holding hands with Ford for a long time. Just to back up even further, I started publishing Ford Pros magazine in 2007. So I've been a loyal Ford supporter for a while and love this space. And we're very excited to be doing this series because we get to bring in real life folks, right? Just like you. And today we're fortunate to have Joe Collazo. He is with Ted Russell Ford in Parkside Drive, and I'm going to ask Joe to just give a couple of sentences about what he does there.
Oh. Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I am the e-commerce director at Ted Russell Ford in Lincoln, so I oversee both the Ford stores and the Lincoln store, and we are in a unique position to have a commercial vehicle center, which we have had for the past 35 years. So pretty excited to use the Work Truck Solutions tool to spearhead our Ford Pro program here. Thanks.
And Joe, you guys got kind of doubled down about 6 months ago too, right?
Yeah, we did. We were running just the bare minimum solution. We ended up signing with Ford Pro, becoming a Ford Pro Elite and Commercial Vehicle Center. So we ended up upgrading our e-commerce site and saw traffic increase double year over year, just the traffic to the site. So,
and we're absolutely sure, you and I both and everybody else, that that's because of content, right? And I just wanted to kick it off and say that's what this webinar is all about, is that content is really important. It builds trust and credibility. We all know that we're in a B2B environment, that this is us doing business with businesses, and businesses are all about, you know, the logical decisions and the uptime and the finding partners who will help them do the things that they can't and don't want to do. And so the trust, the education generates leads, and these kinds of leads are intensive leads, or they have a purpose for converting, and of course, it enhances your brand, and Joe's going to talk about that in just a second, but it just overall creates this customer relationship, and that's That's the most important thing, right, Joe? We were talking about what you see as you guys have accomplished, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been in the Knoxville area and market for about 35 years. So building the trust and the credibility, to your point, through the content on our website, giving the customers a little bit of background on our staff, availability, services availability, making it very simple, and just making it easy for them to navigate our site.
And we all know that that's the key today, isn't it? Our lives are so complicated, and if you're running a business, making it easy for them, right? Being seen as a partner, being able to help them and be a resource. So what are the kinds of things that you guys have done that's made you kind of a comprehensive solution and being fully committed, right, to your customers?
Well, when we originally built the website, I've got a couple of guys here that have been, between the two of them, have about 60 years worth of experience with Ford upfitting and that kind of thing. And really the power behind, building the homepage is to have everything at the fingertips. So 1 or 2 clicks, you're exactly where you needed to be. Service, parts, sales, you're right there in 1 click. And God knows business customers, don't have a whole lot of time. So if they're looking for a specific vehicle, our inventory financing, you can either go with Ford Credit for Ford Fleet or personal line of credit. Your service button, mobile service, and then a little bit about us being a partner in the community, really.
That's what to me is so exciting about the commercial opportunity for, I don't know who all is on the webinar today, whether most of you are already doing commercial or you're thinking about it, but to me it just seems like it's the heartbeat of what a dealer is really about, which is being part of the community, and all the small businesses. Just a little side note, 51% of all fleets are 5 vehicles or fewer. 67% are 10 fleets or fewer. What does that tell you, Joe, about who we are trying to help, right? It's your local businesses.
Yeah, definitely small business. And, we're in a unique market here where there's a lot of small business, florists, bakers. One company comes to mind that does earthscapes and pool installs and that kind of thing. And we had a great conversation about electrifying their fleet. And that was a phone call that landed in my lap. So it was a really unique call. And I gotta really put kudos out to my Ford team. And I want to mention them by name, if you wouldn't mind. Ray Epley, Nicole Ford on the vehicle side, and Sergio Suarez on my service. And they are an extension of our salespeople here at the dealership. They really help us tackle, implementing small fleet. They have 2 F-150 Lightning trucks. After our meeting and meeting with the Ford Pro team, they're going to be adding 9 Chargers and 7 more trucks, F-150 Lightning trucks. So just a wide range of tools. And thank you to Ford Pro for making that available to us.
And Joe, I love, because we've talked, before this too, and I really love how you talked about kind of like the history. You've got people there that have been in the space for, 30 years apiece. And of course, their area of expertise is the vehicles itself, right? And they're really good at, what the upfit is and probably instinctively a lot of use case application around that. But what Ford Pro and the additional products that have become available through Ford, right, has done is created an opportunity that you've captured, which is to be everything, to kind of be the one place to go. And the only way really to talk to customers about that and to be that is to do that online and, and have a way of before they come to the dealership, before they even talk to you, to let them know that you're the resource for them, right? That they don't have to worry about being an expert at this, that you guys can do that. And knowing that you have the resources behind you of the Ford Pro team, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah, the support from the Ford Pro team is absolutely second to none. And I really appreciate you mentioning my guys having the experience that they do. And really the big driving force to that homepage is they got irritated with how many clicks it was taking to get everywhere. So now it's one click to send out a business application, one click to send the inventory, one click to do that. So really, I think I've tamed both sides, the customer experience and the employee experience. So
yeah, it's a great time right now because, and as you heard from Dan, I've been in this for a while and, early days, heck, the folks in the commercial department had probably not even done emails. I know they didn't have smartphones. Their grandkids were the ones that got them to do that, right? So it's been a long adoption of technology, but I love how what that's done is it's made us really think about what's helpful to the customer rather than how fast we could do technology, right? Because this is complex. And helping businesses, being B2B focused, is about value, not about, flash and sparkle, right? So,
yeah,
being the resource.
It's definitely all about saving time. You'll lose somebody in the first 30 seconds when they land on your business page or on the retail side. Also, you'll lose them within the first 30 seconds if you don't have the correct content and what they're looking for, and specifically for your market.
I'm so glad you said that. It's nice to have somebody who has a lot of that marketing background too to talk to today, because I get excited. That was my previous background, and I get excited about how unique each market is. That's great for dealers, right? They're not in competition with each other based upon being in different places. Each market has certain things. You talked about some of your local businesses. That's very demographic centric, very geographic centric, very weather centric, very, just even trends, right? And yeah. I think the people that typically know that the best are folks like dealerships. I mean, they should understand what's going on. Did you guys do anything special? Like, have you done anything around vocational associations or any kind of events that you go to meet prospective businesses? How have you thought about them locally?
We have attended vocational schools that are here in the area, specific to the area. That drilling is prominent here. Government is huge. Municipalities, things of that nature. And again, it's a very niche market here in the Knoxville area, but having a website that has all of the upfits and has all of your vehicles, we're seeing orders coming from the Midwest or the upper Northeast. So having a website is critical to moving that inventory. Maybe you have an upfit that's on the ground that somebody canceled the order on. It is very, very important to be able to have that up and be able to feature those vehicles on the site, so it brings you right up. And I see you have the homepage up. When you have the view body options, you can go right in your box truck. You can go absolutely anywhere to on-the-ground vehicles and what's available.
I love that you guys have thought through. Wait a minute. We have a question. You know, Jim, I'm more than happy to take questions. What's your question?
So this is Jim Janice down in Texas. Question for Joseph. How you mentioned on the custom content on your website, was that developed in strong conjunction with your Ford Direct contact team?
It was, and I'm glad that you asked that. During the implementation and putting this all together, the folks at Work Truck Solutions came together with a team and sat down, and we started to bounce off ideas on what we were going to include in the website. Homegrown pictures, you know, most of the stuff that you see on the website are pictures I took with my cell phone. And we were able to incorporate those into the website. So they had a template, if you were, on of information, and it was really, really simple. I built 2 retail sites. By far, the Work Truck Solution site was the easiest. 5 days building it, and another 5 days implementing it. With the retail site and integrating that with hyperlinks and that kind of thing. 2 weeks I was on the road.
And Jim, to your question about Ford Direct, we are a shop, in the shop with our packages for Ford dealerships. And we collaborate with them. We have regular meetings with them to look for ways that we can continue to work with Ford Direct and help. There's still a lot left to be able to integrate with them, and we're working on the potential to get feeds from them around incentives and around other things. So, did that answer enough of your questions?
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate the insight.
You bet.
Yeah, and one last thing, Jim, I want to tell you, whatever VMS that you're using, it does integrate with, whether you're using vAuto or you're using the Ford, whatever you're using to manage your fleet will integrate with Work Truck Solutions. We didn't have any problem with integration at all.
Well, thank you for saying those kind words, Joe. We do really think about, for the dealer, how to be the comprehensive solution. And, you know, sometimes we come up with some great ideas, even in a session like this, right, around what other people have experienced or been able to find around what business customers need. You had a couple things, Joe, that a couple of examples of. You talked a little bit about the one company and their interest in exploring electric vehicles and how that kind of turned into a whole big relationship with them, right? And selling chargers and expanding their fleet and their relationship with you. Do you have other kind of stories like that?
That was the biggest one that came to mind. You know,
Yeah.
Most of the customers are I don't want to say easy, but they've been ordering trucks and upfitting them in a certain way. So as far as that business goes, the loyalty there. But we'll get a customer that needs a little bit more tending to, if you were. I will mention, as far as on our service side for mobile service, so we have 2 mobile service vans dedicated to Ford Pro. Our BDC team here at the dealership does a great job scheduling those services during the downtime of those fleets.
There you
go. Saturday hours, we're able to do, recalls, oil changes, things of that nature that we can do on site while those vehicles are down, and helping our customers stay on the road and doing business at the speed of business. So we're not interrupting their on the road time as far as that goes. And I want to mention, on our service page, we have two links. One is to schedule service online. If they'd like to schedule their service online to bring it into the dealership, we can do that. But mobile service, we have a call now. The biggest thing is we want to understand the customer and have them totally understand and us introduce the mobile service and what our capabilities are. Oftentimes you'll try to schedule that online, but there's some intricate things that need to be worked out. Now, after that, you might be able to just set it up. But initially, to set up that mobile service for fleet, we want to talk to somebody. We want them to talk to a human being so we can do the job, understand it, and do it right.
It's very, very smart. We're hearing a lot more around fixed ops, focusing on the commercial opportunity. We're actually, myself and Jim Press, who I don't know how many of you recognize that name, but Jim was the COO of Toyota for decades and the CEO of Chrysler, and he also was the president of a dealer group. He's been around the industry for a long time. I'm very fortunate. He is my senior advisor, and we were just recently interviewed for the fixed ops roundtable that's coming up in May, with the concept that if you really think through service for commercial, it's a high margin opportunity. It's a high loyalty opportunity. And Joe and I were just talking about that yesterday, about the fact that businesses, once you've performed for them, once you've done what they want or even more, they're going to come back, because that's what they're looking for specifically is a trusted partner that can take something off their plate, right? That can help them. And the thought, Joe, that you guys are talking to them to make sure that you understand what they need first before you put a program together is very, very smart. That kind of approach means that it's bespoke, right? And that you will meet their expectations. And I think that this is you said that you have 2 mobile services right now, trucks, but you're thinking about adding more, correct?
Yeah. In probably the next 6 to 8 months, we'll add 2 more and probably add a heavy duty truck to the fleet. That's still kind of up in the air, but they'll let me know what they decide, and then we'll tackle it at that point. And I want to kind of piggyback. Our parts and mobile service operations are huge. The low hanging fruit is that mobile service,
right?
For sure.
Yep. Jim, a quick question again.
Yeah, so another question for Joe. So given the success of your mobile service operation, are you finding that when those customers come back to purchase vehicles, that the price of the vehicle, while it's important, is less of a consideration because they're recognizing the value of the mobile service operation?
Yeah, absolutely. We're selling the relationship, and that's worth the extra $2,500, $1,500. It's worth not being able to have a headache after you buy a vehicle. Absolutely.
It's the whole relationship thing, isn't it? It takes the dollar grinding off the plate. So we really also appreciate how Ford supports the educational comprehensive solution. Using that kind of materials helps differentiate dealers as well, being that comprehensive solution about the products. I have to say, given how long I've been around, I've always been so impressed and proud of the Ford product line. I watched during 2008 and 2009 why others were exiting out of product line when Ford was continuing to add. It was the smartest thing I've seen, and they continue to be committed in doing that. And so making sure that customers know what the products are. Joe, like Joe said, a lot of times they just know the same thing. They've done the same thing, but it's always good to keep them educated on maybe new opportunities and new ways to help with their use case. That's that's what consultants do. I think that just being committed to those customers. Joe, to your point about existing customers, I remember our very first dealer that we went live with was a Ford dealer in Corning Ford, and I remember about a year later, the manager there, Francis, told me that the biggest value that he got out of our platform was that his customers had it easier. They could just go and easily do what they needed to do, and it took out all of that extra work on the customer's part. And I think that your one-click idea is an important thing that we will add to our list of what that value looks like. I think we don't notice that enough, but you're right. That's so important to business customers.
The way that came about, really, and I gotta give it up to Ford again. One of the first intensive training sessions that I went to was the electric vehicles, the EV intensive. Mm-hmm. And one of the projects were to shop Ford's competitors on the electric vehicle side and see how many clicks it took to purchase a vehicle. And I think Ford, in my heart, I'm blue Ford for sure, but it took 15 clicks to buy an electric vehicle. Tesla rounded it out with 5 and that kind of thing. But bringing it forward and putting this site together to get the customer is so important. Where they want to go for what they want to do to save them time goes, especially online, and making your site sticky. Again, you get them where they want to go, what they want to look at, and get them back on the road.
And let's not forget, retail is different. It takes, 10 to a dozen kind of semi-interested folks to maybe buy one car, whereas one commercial shopper on average buys up to 5 vehicles, right? And so it's important to keep them. And we've got some things coming down the pike, just so you know, Joe, we'll talk about helping making that efficiency on your side of multiple vehicle purchases.
Correct.
So, all these things that you guys are doing are spot on. That's why we picked you to help host this. We really appreciate that. One place, make it easy, have all of it available. I did want to, I know we're running down out of time now. I did want to let everybody know, 2 weeks ago, we hosted the Commercial Vehicle Business Summit. If you're interested in learning more about other things in the space, there are 2 days of 5 hours a day of really cool webinars. Please feel free to access that. You'll be getting this deck also since you signed up and came. And there are 2 more webinars this year coming up. One is on July 16th. That is about multi-channel communications. That's also another thing that I know, Joe, you would understand. How do you make sure that not only are you saying the right things and showing the right information, but talking to them in many different channels? And then we'll have some year close strategies in October. And I appreciate you all coming. Sorry we ended up with not a lot of time at the end, but I do appreciate, Jim, thanks so much for asking questions during. You guys are all welcome to send us questions, to make suggestions. I don't know, Steve, do we have a little survey going out after this?
Yeah, when we send the email out with the link and so forth, if anybody has comments, questions, thoughts, please reply back.
There you go.
Fill all of those.
That's right. And Joe, thank you so much.
Yeah, guys, thank you for being here. Let's sell them all.
Well, we really want to help, and that's what we like doing, and we love your customers for you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.